Hey folks, it's Dave back here in Studio B. I just come back from Studio C upstairs playing my first game of Appa Hockey. And I want to talk about it briefly here tonight because I want to save it for the show because we are going to talk about it on the show this week in depth. And you can find us over there at digitaltodice.com. That's the podcast we do to talk about sports simulation games, tabletop games, computer games, and all that stuff there. So I'll be going into a greater detail about my thoughts with Apple Hockey and playing my first game and just, talking about this kind of thing in general, like tackling a brand new game, a bigger game, I would say, like Appa. I would consider Appa a bigger game. I really would. It's definitely not a quick play game, and there's a lot to it in the whole bit. So we're going to be talking about that this week on the show. But I did want to get some things off my chest here. Well, they're fresh in my mind, so to speak. First off, I want to thank everybody that did a video for Apple Hockey. Dave S. has some fantastic videos on Apple Hockey. ID Jester did some great videos on Apple Hockey. Tebow started doing some videos, and that was kind of pushed me over the edge is when I saw some of Tebow's videos. And even Rob with the exclamation point, he was playing some Apple Hockey. So I got to see all kinds of people playing the game and explaining the game, and that made a big difference to me as far as whether I was going to buy it or not. So if you're thinking about doing a video, and I've heard some people say, well, there's so many videos out there on this, I don't want to do another one. No, do it. Do it now. Do it now, as Arnold says. If you want to do a video on a game, do it, because you never know what your video will be like, meaning that, some people do great jobs with a video, but maybe you'll do it in such a way that somebody will pick up on it a little differently. Maybe I'm not explaining that well enough, but what I'm getting at is I would rather have 10 people do a video on a game than 2 and have 8 say, I don't want to make the video on the game because there's already, a couple people did it, because, everybody does their game reviews a different way. And, what I saw out of ID was different. What I saw out of Rob, was different than Tebow, and then, what was different than Dave S. And I don't think there's really any other videos out there, but everybody approached it a different way. And some people was an instructional, some people was just a gameplay, some people was just, doing little sections of the game and talking about it. So I encourage you, if you want to do a game video that shows off the game or a specific part of the game, do it. People will watch it, and there might be something you say or how you say it or how you present it is going to be a little different than somebody else that's going to help somebody learn the game or make a decision on the game. So I encourage everybody to do a video on a game if you like it. And even if it's not that good, I mean, like I say, some people have great production videos. The Dave S video had music and Zambonis and pucks and arrows, and I don't even know how to do that myself. So Dave went full production. It was great, but some people just held it with a phone, and they got a lot of information just with their phone, and that did a great job too. So thank you if you did a video on Apple Hockey, because that really pushed me to get the game. Let me see. I also want to thank ID specifically, because ID sent me over some charts here in Excel. Okay, and this really made it easier to play the game, because you got this big book here, okay, and you're flipping through the charts. These are like instructions and charts, and you mostly play off of one, but occasionally you got to flip here and you flip here. So there's a lot of chart flipping in Apple Hockey, and so when you have these things here already printed, and you can just kind of have them all laid out. I mean, my table looked like a cockpit. Let me tell you, it did. It looked like a cockpit with all the stuff I had on the table, but everything was at my fingertips. I had to do very little chart flipping once I had my setup, and I was able to pump out the game pretty quick. So thanks to ID for zipping those over. That made the game go a little bit better. And again, thanks everybody that made the videos for it. The game that I played, Boston and Los Angeles, 1990-91. Bruins won it 8-2. Very high scoring game. They got 5 goals in the third period. Just seemed like every time Burridge or Neely took a shot, it went in. I was rolling a lot of low dice, and it was what happened on my shots on goal. Kelly Rudy just had trouble making some saves. in the third period. And so it was actually 3-2 going into the third period. So we had a close game until Boston scored 5. Shots on goal is Kelly Rudy saw 35 shots from the Bruins, and Andy Moog saw 26 shots from the Kings. The one thing I noticed, there was a lot of penalties in this game. And again, it's only one game, so I don't have a huge sample size. But I did have 12 penalties on the Kings. In fact, I filled up my sheet. You can see here, I got 12 rows of penalties, and they were all filled up. So I'm going to have to rework my spreadsheet here to add a couple more penalty lines and maybe take away a couple of goal lines. But yeah, the score sheet was full, 8-2. I had 12 penalties for the Kings and 6 for the Bruins. Now, I did have a fight, and I did have a couple of coincidentals, but still, that still works out to be 10 minor penalties. Hey, Tabletop Sports, I do. I do like the game, and I'm going to go into a lot of detail this week on the show. And again, over at digitaltodice.com, we're scheduled to record on Friday, which would be April 9th of 2021. And I'll get my full report there. But I just want to kind of jump on tonight and thank the people that have done the videos. Thank the ID for sending me the Excel chart so I could print out, because that really made it faster. Thanks to Tebow, who was kind of at my beck and call today. I kept texting him on the phone there saying, hey, what about this? And what about that? And I had a couple of rebounds come up, and I was right in the middle of a rebound. He actually got right back to me, which was good because I didn't know how to handle something. And he's like, oh, just do it this way. And so I did that. So, yeah. So APBA Hockey, I give it a thumbs up. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I'm going to go into more detail on the show Friday because I don't want to spoil too much here and wreck the show. But I did want to come on and just say thank everybody who helped me play this game, that helped me learn the game, that showed me how to play the game. And even the people that didn't like it, there was some people, I know PJet doesn't like the game, and that's fine. And some of your concerns were very valid. They were. I watched your video several times, and I had the same kind of qualms about the game that you did and the quirks and whatever. And but I had played it last summer a little bit, the older version, and when I got the newer version, it's way better. The older version, I don't know why, I just couldn't get into it. But the new version with the new charts and the new layout and the cheat cards and the whole bit, it really worked out really well for me. So again, some people don't like it, and I can understand why. There's a lot of chart lookups. There really is, compared to some other games when there's hardly any at all. So that took a lot of getting used to. I'm still not used to it. I'm still rolling dice. It was like so many times in this game. Again, I'm learning as my first game. So many times I roll, oh, it's a shot on net, and I look at the other dice roll for the goalie to make the save, and I'm like, oh, it's a goal. Yeah, Ray Bork scores. And I was like, oh, wait a sec. No, I didn't look at the card. I just looked at the dice roll and went right to the chart. And I said, oh, 44 is a goal. 44 is off the goalie card, and 44 is really a 7, let's say, whatever. So I have to get used to the Apple way of doing it, of not looking at the dice and going to the chart. I got to stop at the card first. So I'm still getting used to that, but there was a couple times I thought I scored. I was like, oh, no, I didn't. But that's all right. I got the game, the flow. That was the big thing. I could visualize the game in my head, but the concerns of the game are valid, and the people that don't like it, that made their points known, I can see where they're coming from. So for myself, they didn't quite bother me. One of the big things was the ODAI, which is a very intimidating name, by the way. ODAI sounds like it's something from the dark side in Star Wars. Did you check the ODAI? Yes, Lord Vader, I did. That's what it feels like. It's so menacing. Just call it DA, defensive adjustment. And that wouldn't have been so menacing, but I felt it was really menacing. But anyway, I'll talk more about that on the show anyway. But so game 1 is in the books. It took me all day because I kept getting interrupted. I set it up and play and this and that and look up, but I finally got to go. Third period, I said, I'm going to time myself. I'm not going to have the radio on. I'm not going to be bugged by anything. I'm not going to take a drink. I'm just going to play it right through. And I got it done in about 30 minutes for the third period. Now, it sounds like a lot. Oh, geez, that's an hour and a half for the game. It's my first time playing. I thought 30 minutes for a game this size, which is a lot more going on than any other game I've ever played, aside from a football game, maybe, which is play by play. There's a lot going on in this game. And I used a lot of the optional stuff, the quote, advanced or super advanced stuff, which I usually start off very basic and work my way up. But there was an there was enough in the optional stuff and in the advanced stuff that made me want to play it. A couple things like there was one chart for offensive zone faceoffs, let's say, instead of neutral zone faceoffs. And it did a couple things. They were very, very similar, but there was a couple little quirks there. So it just felt like when I was in the offensive zone, I pulled out that chart and then I rolled off of that, and there was a little bit of variety there compared to the normal chart. I had power plays tonight. I had a 2-man advantage for a minute and a half. Boston didn't even touch the puck, I don't think. But again, it was all good. It was all fun. And I think I could speed it up a little bit. I don't know how much quicker than a half hour I could play, because at that point there, I mean, I did have, what did I have there? I did have 5 minor penalties for the Kings that I had to write down and things like that. So it was a busy third period with 5 penalties and 5 goals. So the third period was somewhat busy, whereas I think if I only had a couple of penalties and a couple of goals, maybe I could have trimmed it down. But I really started to get in the groove, and I was really excited that I did get in the groove of it. And yeah, so I'm just looking at my score sheet here. Neely had a couple of goals. Burridge had a couple of goals. Gretzky, of course, scored. I think he had a couple shots, and then he scored. Oh, his card is nasty on the Kings. It's not the Oilers card. It's probably not as good as the Oilers card, but any assist check, just you don't even check. You don't even roll for an assist on Gretzky. It's just like bang, it's an assist, or it's a pass or whatever it is. So it's fun seeing the cards like that, and that's a good season. 90-91. I played the first period I played last night was St. Louis with Hull and Oates. Yeah. And those guys there, Curtis Joseph and Net Cujo. Yes. That's 90-91's a great season. So I pulled out the Blues. I played a little bit of the Blues last night, but tonight's full game was the Kings at Boston. I did definitely got a couple of gripes about the game that I'll bring up on the show. So it's not a perfect game by any means, but boy, the depth of this game is unbelievable. And I don't want to really compare it to Strat. I think I might have to at some point, because Strat's my other favorite hockey game, along with Shootout, which is a quick play game. But with Strat, I'm still unable to play the super advanced power play in Strat. I just can't get it. I don't know what it is. I tried it and I keep screwing it up. Suppose if I kept trying, I'd get better. So I just use the advanced power play in Strat. This one here, there's really no basic or advanced power play. It's all just one. And I didn't have a problem at all with it. I didn't get stuck at all tonight, actually, is what I was telling Ron when I talked to him. But anyway, so yeah, just wanted to jump on. It's really late tonight here on the East Coast, but I just finished up the game and thought I'd come on with a couple of thank yous to people who did the videos, because that really, really helped me. So I'm going to do some myself. Again, I encourage everybody to do videos, because you just don't know. You don't know. You might present it in such a way, or you might talk about something in a certain way, or describe something a certain way that's going to be a little different than everybody else, and that's going to help somebody else. So I'm hoping I'm going to do that myself with some of this game here. I'm probably going to maybe, I don't know if I'll get to it before the show, but at some point I'll get some gameplay of me playing it to show you how I do the charts and everything here. And I was using my my mat that I got from Ink Gaming that I set up for Hockey Blast, and it worked quite well. Nothing was like laid out perfectly. You could see around, but it had the hockey rink and you knew what it was. And it really did a nice job, because I was actually able to lay all the cards out on the table, and line changes weren't that big of a deal. So, and Tabletop Sports, hey, have a good night. I'm going to be jumping off in 1 second myself, but I just want to come on and get a few thoughts down here. Some people who are asking about it. So yeah, all in all, fun time, fun game. I will be playing a lot of APBA hockey in the future, I can see, and I plan on getting some more seasons with this, because that's the other thing, is they offer like just about every season I would want. And I'm not going to obviously get them all, but I will pick up a couple more seasons. I know I will, because there's some teams I want to play, and they're not available with Strat doesn't offer everything anymore, and you got to pay an arm and a leg to get them on eBay. So even though I've already purchased some of those seasons, but here, boy, this game felt like hockey. There's a lot going on in this game, and none of it was overly difficult, and it felt like a hockey game. It really did. And I didn't mind spending a half hour on a period, as weird as that sounds, as impatient as I am. You guys know me. If I don't like something, I'm in a hurry. I'm always in a hurry. You know me. I want to get maximum gaming in, I'd rather play 3 games of shootout than, 1 game of this. Nope. I had no problem playing this all night. I really didn't. I would like to pick up the pace a little bit, and I think that'll get better as I start to learn. And that's the one thing that that Ron says, and everybody says, is when you're playing Appa, even though you're checking the charts, you start to memorize stuff. So when I saw certain numbers come up, I knew what it was, and I didn't even have to check the chart. And that, again, this is all in one game. So I was starting to pick things up a little quicker, and that was pretty good. But the big thing was trying to eliminate the chart flipping. That was probably the most difficult thing, because when I played the other night, I played the 1 period. It was a lot of chart flipping. But now that I have all these things here, I can just pull out what I need, put it on the top, and then if I need something else, pull that on the top. And I'm not flipping. I'm just kind of moving the paper around. So I have all my notes, my cheat sheets, and everything here. So it, like I say, when I set up Studio C, it kind of looked like a cockpit of an airplane, because I had to look everything everywhere, but it was all right there. I didn't really have to flip at all once it was all set up, and I just played and I looked and I'm looking over here, I'm looking over here, I'm looking over here, and boom, 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 boom. And it played well, And I suppose it helped that the Bruins won too. I suppose if the Bruins lost 8-2 and they had 12 penalties, I might be a little bit, not quite as happy as I am right now, but it was fun. I actually I didn't use the Appa score sheet. I didn't like the Appa score sheet. I just used the one that I created. Actually, I didn't create it. Somebody else created a sheet for, I don't know if it's for shootout hockey or something similar to that. And I just used that, and it worked out very well. I just have to add more penalty lines. So I took, my sheet here, and it's got the 20 lines here. So Appa has 40 ticks. So I just did 2. So I made an X. So it was like 30 seconds and then 30 seconds and 30 seconds, 30 seconds. And it worked out quite well, so I could see where I was. And then I put the ODAI down the bottom here. I just added that. So that was all ready to go. So I tried to have as many things ready to go. And there's a lot of math in this game, and I'll talk about that on the show, that I didn't think I'd like a game with math, but this was quite easy, actually. I didn't find it overly difficult, And again, there's a lot of repetition in the game too that I found. So there was some things you didn't really have to do a lot of math with. His Hockey Unreal shows up here. So I'm just chatting a little bit of Apple Hockey. I don't want to give away too much, because we are going to talk about it on the show this week over at digitaltodice.com. So we'll be talking a lot of Apple Hockey in the whole bit. Yeah. Okay. I'll wrap it up again. I played 1 full game tonight. It was Los Angeles at Boston, 1990-91. So it was Gretzky and the Kings were visiting Boston with Neely and Bork. Kelly Rudy in net for the Kings, and Andy Mogan net for Boston. And it was 3-2 Boston going into the 3rd period, and Boston exploded with 5 goals. Neely got 2, Burridge got 2, Galley got 1. Imagine that Gary Galley got a goal. And so Boston won 8-2. They outshot them 35-26. But the key was penalties. There was penalties in this game. As I mentioned, there were 12 penalties on the Kings. I filled up my penalty slot here, as you can see. There was 1 fight. Sandstrom and Neely fought, so I was without Neely for 5 minutes. That was actually cool. As much as I almost said, nope, no fight. I'm not playing without Neely. I went with it. I let the fight happen. I put Neely off to the side for 5 minutes, and I went with it. It was good. It was fun. it was really kind of cool having him see him off to the side sitting for 5 minutes. I'm like, Cam, when are you coming out of the box? So he fought Thomas Sandstrom. Yeah, there was just a lot of minor penalties. I finally got used to was learning that a 35 was bad. Every time. So I roll the dice, I look at the guy's card, and whatever number it was, if it said a 56 was 35 in the chart. Ooh, 35 is another penalty. In fact, I think at one point with about a minute left, I rolled another penalty for the Kings, and I had no more space in my score sheet, and the game was almost over anyway. I said, nah, no penalty. I do that with shootouts sometimes. When I keep rolling penalty after penalty after penalty, at some point I just say, nope, no penalty. So I just rolled again. But what's kind of neat is third line defenseman Jim Weimer, who we always kind of poke fun at old Jim because he struggled a little bit. He almost scored a goal tonight. He was out there for one of the power plays, and he's got a very, very low shot rating. And I went back to him at the point, and he got a shot, and I rolled snake eyes. It's a shot on net, and if I got a better goalie roll, he would have scored. Imagine that. Jim Weimer almost scored a goal in my game tonight. So, yeah, that was kind of cool. But the game does some nice things. I got to make my list of what I really like about the game and what I really don't like about the game for the show on Friday. How did I do line change, Larry? That's one of the things that I was really kind of cool about this game. And it took me a while to figure it out because, I thought about just going basic line change, just like, okay, times you do 4 minutes a whack. Okay, 4 minutes, and like Strat, just change the cards. That's what I was going to do. But they have a really unique way of changing lines, whereas you roll the dice and the other team gets the puck, then you change lines, and then they roll the dice and they give it back to this team here while they change lines, and it just so the guy with the puck gives it away, and then they get it back, and somebody else might get the puck. So I thought that was kind of neat. But there's also the dump and chase thing, whereas when you change lines, you roll dice to see who's going to get the puck. Well, there's a couple of rolls that instigate a corner check, meaning the puck goes into the corner, and the left D's got the puck, and then you roll to see who goes into the corner. And if your forward has a higher corner rating than the defenseman, he gets the puck. Then there's a chance to send the puck out front, and there's another battle to see if your guy will get a shot on net. So changing lines, instead of just flipping the cards, there's a small chance for a scoring play. And so, again, I think that's kind of optional if you want to do it that way. You could just flip the cards and call it a day. Like Action PC does and Strat does in a whole bit, whereas just, this guy's got the puck. Okay, change lines. Everyone comes out, and now this guy has the puck instantaneously. This was neat. It didn't result in any shots on goal for me or any scoring chance, but just know the idea that, I dumped the puck in the corner before these guys can actually change. We got one last battle. Okay, the guy won the battle. Now he clears it out. They make their change. So you don't lose any possession. It just gives you a chance to battle for a shot. So the line changes, that's what I did. I tried to use as many of the advanced rules as I possibly could. There was a couple I didn't get to. So some just didn't interest me, and there were some that I just didn't want to tackle right away because I did want to get through a game. And it was there was a lot to this. I was finding myself, going back and checking and rechecking what is this, what is that, because there's a couple of plays that require an assist check, and that's very different for me. Okay, so it's all kind of new. The assist checks are all kind of new, and but there's one that you look at the dice on the table, and there's others that you re-roll. And I kept getting those mixed up. So I was like, okay. So every time that would come up, I was like, oh man, is this the one that you leave the dice on the table? Or is this the one that you re-roll? So I would have to just double check on that. And I do that a lot of times in games, even when I play Strat, and sometimes even shootout. It's like I always, draw a blank. It's like, oh man, I got to double check on this. I want to make sure I'm doing it right. I don't want to just assume anything. So I'm always going back into the rule book and looking it up and seeing what it is. No matter what game I play, you know, I'm always like, okay, just want to make sure that this is what you're supposed to do. You know, and even I do that even with Hockey Blast. It's like, okay, I know that this is the rule, but I just want to double check. You pull the rule, but yeah, okay, you just confirm what you know. But there's a lot of little things in this game, and I'll talk about those on Friday. And but I just want to come on tonight, and again, I'm repeating myself now. I'm tired. It's been a long day, and I got hurt playing hockey last night, so I'm in some pain. I didn't walk the dog today. I'm in some pain today. Yep. Old Dave chasing young people around on the hockey rink, and I got hurt. Yep. So hobbling around a little bit. Hopefully I'll be able to skate this weekend. But anyway, so Savoy, that's probably the biggest reason I don't play the dice games. Your memory sucks. Well, the good thing is you can keep the instructions right there. That's what I do. The instructions are right there. So I just flip back and check it out. And I got really good at like getting to what I needed to get to, because I looked at it so many times while playing this game that eventually I knew what page to go to. But a lot of the stuff, I mean, you look at some of these things here, and just for example, okay, it'll say like, where's a good one here? This is how crazy. Okay, so it's like, pass asterisk, physical 10, interception left DX. It sounds like a football play. Pass asterisk, physical 10, interception left DX. It does. It sounds like a football play, but the rules explain it, you know, where it's like it's going to be a pass unless the other team has this physical quality, and then they take the puck. So it's, at first when I looked at this, I was like, holy smoke, I'll never get this. But then after you get into it, you're like, okay. Again, it's a little bit at a time. It's like, you know, learn your ABCs, you know. And so there's some crazy stuff like, you know, SOG forecheck 10 wide shot. Well, I know what they all mean now. You know, a couple hours ago, I couldn't tell you what it meant, you know. But yeah, there's a lot to it, but the instructions are very well laid out. And the videos that you guys have done have really, really helped, because there's a lot of stuff that the rule book was great, but without the videos, I don't think I would have figured it out. Because just watching somebody play it and seeing what they do, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it now. So you see somebody play it, then you read the rule books. Oh yeah, I saw this guy do this, and it makes sense. Hey, Al, Red Sox fan, jumped in. I just saw you jumped in, Al. Just chatting a little bit about Appa Hockey game tonight that I got. You know, this is one of those games where I went to the rink last night, and at the rink I was like, man, I just want to come home and play. And that's when you know you like a game. That's when you know you really like a game, is when you want to, you know, jet out of work and go home and play it. And I was at the rink last night going, man, I just want to get. I was actually sent Juckett a message, because I was on the ice for on the court, actually, roller hockey. I played for 2 hours last night. I refereed, then I played, and then I couldn't walk after. just couldn't walk. And I'm texting Chuck. I said, man, I just want to come home, you know, put some ice on my knee and play this Appa Hockey tonight. And he was laughing. And yes, Larry, Tebow's videos are great. I've been talking to him all day. He's been answering my questions, you know, at work, at soccer practice. Tebow's been great. And I was like, hey, what about this? And what about that? Because there's a couple things that they're not crystal clear. You have a pretty good idea, but there's a few things like, I'm not sure about this, and I'm not sure about that. And there was one chart that I was reading wrong. Okay, I was reading, I thought the dice roll was across the top and the dice roll was down, if you know what I mean. So I was rolling 2 dice because I thought it said 5 and under and 10 and over. Oh, so that's a 2d6 roll. No, it's 1 to 6 this way. And 5 to 10, that was the player's I rating in the slot rating. Yeah, well, so I did that wrong a couple of times, but he straightened me out on that. Um, I asked him to do a penalties video because the penalties get kind of confusing because on some penalties and some dice rolls, you're supposed to roll for additional penalties, and I didn't quite get all that. I just kind of did regular penalties tonight, so I'll have to go and, again, after, I get a couple games under my belt, I'll really start to dig into, okay, what do I else need? What else do I need to do on this penalty? And there's certain roles that do certain things, and I didn't do that tonight either. There's a lot to this game, so I wanted to kind of get the basics, and then I'll get into, and the same thing was, this is what happens too, is when you have certain roles to do things like payoff pitch. Okay, I love payoff pitch. Okay, it's a really really fun baseball game, but I always forget to check for the wild pitch because a wild pitch it's on the pitcher's card it'll say like 30 or 31 or 30 to 32, and those are the wild pitches or potential wild pitch or something like that. Do you think I ever remember when I'm rolling the dice or flipping the fast action cards that a 30 or 31's a wild pitch? No. you know, It'll be after the game and I'll be putting it away. It's like, oh, I never checked for a wild pitch at all. You don't think of it that way sometimes. And so there's a couple of dice rolls in this game that I will have to memorize. I'll probably have to have another cheat sheet. I mean, I got charts everywhere. So what's another little cheat card there? And that's the other great thing. And, compared to the older game, they come with these little cards about this big, and it's like face-off results. So you don't need to go, pull this thing out and flip for face-off results. They have a little card that does that. There's a wide shots result. There's a little card that explains what happens to check on forechecks, what happens to check on intimidation. There's all these little things that are really great with the new game that the old game didn't have. So that's why this game is like way better, and I took to it. I'm not the only one that doesn't check the wild pitch. Yeah, it's 30s and payoff pitch. Yeah, and I forget all the time. I constantly forget to check for the wild pitch. And there's a few things like that in this game. So I'm going to have to like make some mental notes and make a little card and put it off to the side and say, hey, don't forget that this means this. And so I think that the penalties are what I have to tackle next. And I told T-Bo, I said, make a penalties video. And he said that the penalties were very confusing in Appa. So, and I did a penalties video for shootout hockey. I think I got 4 videos up for shootout hockey. I'll probably get some more up this weekend. There's a few more things I want to talk about in shoot. I want to talk about goals. I want to talk about assists and just maybe some general gameplay. But I just wanted to kind of do these short videos for shootout hockey and just attack different parts of the game to help some people out. So, Hockey Unreal, what's going on with you? You got a new shootout project I saw, right? You're doing oh, I forget you were doing. I know you set up a new product. I was watching the video on the new product you were doing. So a project. I'll have to check that out. Let me see. I like what you said about what someone else said about something happened in the game, Dave, regarding forgotten checks and other mistakes. Not only painful fun after the fact. Yeah, that's the other thing is, I watched a lot of these videos here, and I did catch people making mistakes, and you try not to make a big deal of it, but I get with it. See, I'm on both sides of that. I'm on both sides of it because I make some videos and show games off, and then I also watch videos. And when you're watching the videos, you do want them 100% right because you don't want to watch someone make a mistake because now you're thinking in your mind, maybe I'm playing it wrong. So if he's doing this, maybe I'm doing that, and I would, but it's hard. It's hard to make a perfect video with everything completely correct. It's not easy. Try it sometime, even just for yourself. Record yourself, and you'd be amazed at how many mistakes you make because you're trying to talk it through. You're not so much concentrating on the game as you are describing what's happening, and sometimes you just you say the wrong word, or you roll the wrong dice, or you roll when you're not supposed to. It's amazing how easy it is to make mistakes in the whole bit. Oh, you like the shootout video? Shootout's really easy. Once you get into it, Shootout is really fun. It feels like you've played a full game in 15 to 20 minutes. It feels like you've played a complete game when you're done. But I like the fact that you can play it that fast, but like I said, the Appa Hockey here, this is going to be a long hauler. This is not going to be a quick game, and I know it is. So, retros replays. I just got it. How do I like it? I give it a thumbs up. And this week on the show, as we talked about a couple times on digitaltodice.com, we're going to record on Friday, and Ron wants me to give a full report. So I'm trying not to spoil too much tonight, but I did want to get a couple of things off. And the big thing was all the videos I saw, and I'm going to do some myself at some point, but this is a big game. It's going to be a while before I do any. I don't even know if I'll do an instructional video on this because there's so many good ones out there, and I'm very new to Appa, so I would probably screw it all up. But I'll have some gameplay of me playing it to show what I'm doing. I've done a few things to speed up the gameplay, and that has really helped, and it just makes it fun too. A few of the things that I've done, it's just there's a lot of dice rolling, and I found a way to get rid of some of those dice rolls to speed things up. So. Recommend that the fast action cards over the dice for shootout. Yeah, fast action cards the way to go. It makes it so much faster. You're not looking at charts as much. You can just go flip. So, but Appa Hockey again. This is one of those that was eluding me for the longest time. I watched the videos. I didn't really care for it. I had somebody send me the older version last year. I played it a little bit. I saw potential in it because there was so much going on with blocked shots and all this other stuff. And I was like, well, I really, really don't want to do it right yet because I was still, I was doing some other things. I guess I wasn't ready for it. So I don't know why. Maybe it was the Tebow videos. Maybe T-Bone started doing all the videos there and got me excited about it, and then I had to play it. But again, it's hockey. That's the other thing we talk about. If it's your favorite sport, you'll muck your way through it. If this was, baseball or basketball, I don't think I could put in the time to a sport that I'm not a big fan of. But being hockey, yeah. So, I mean, you can switch over to facts for shootout hockey from the dice. I was using a hybrid method for a while. Now I kind of strictly go facts, but you definitely want to have more than one deck of fast action cards because you don't want that card to flip and then be gone. Because some teams only have like a 1 to 5 scoring rating, and if you're flipping over for time or for penalties or for assists, and you see those low numbers disappear, you're gonna be like, oh man, now there's no scoring chances at all. But if you have a couple of decks. At least there's a chance for another scoring play. Or I like to use the helper, which gives you a brand new card every time. Although sometimes you can roll the same card frequently. Like I got a ton of penalties the other night for one of the games I did. And it kind of wrecked the game because there was so many penalties. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? So there's good and bad to everything. There's no right way or wrong way to do it. It's whatever you feel like, So, so and Hockey Unreal says he likes to play it with the fast action. Yeah, I mean I do too. I love on the table, but I've started on the I'm only playing on the helper for my season because I need the box scores, and I'd rather not have to play the game and write out the box score when the helper will do it for me, and then I can just input the stats in to the program I'm using for stats. It's just a lot easier for me. So anyway, but all right, well it's after midnight over here. It sounds like kind of a 80s song, doesn't it? After midnight. So I'm going to wrap it up here so I can get up early, and I'm hopefully going to get an unboxing video done tomorrow, as I got another game in the mail today that I need to unbox and go over. So I need to clear up Studio C from the hockey stuff. It's kind of neat. I need to flip it over from hockey to baseball tomorrow. Not from hockey to basketball to hockey, but from hockey to baseball. So I got to clear out Studio C. I got to put all the Appa stuff away, and then I need to set it up for the unboxing. So anyway, so all right, hey, thanks for tuning in. I didn't think I'd go this long. I just wanted to jump on and just give some a little tease about what we're going to be talking about on Digital to Dice this week, which would be April, or it's already the 8th now because it's after midnight, so it'll be April 9th of 2021. that's what we're supposed to be talking about this week is not only about Appa Hockey, but it's just trying a whole brand new game in general. Is kind of like the theme of the show. But it'll be heavy talk on Appa Hockey because that's the one that I just tackled here, and I consider it a big game. So, and so anyway, so all right. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. I'm Dave. Thanks everybody to come into the chat and just started chatting tonight, kind of impromptu here on a Wednesday night as I talk a little Appa Hockey. And I got to see the little thing over here, this little Appa thing right there. Boop, boop. Yeah, I just learned how to do that in Photoshop tonight. So it's kind of neat if I can learn how to do some of these things. My Photoshop skills are getting better now that I'm doing some of the stuff here. So, so anyway, all right. Again, I'm going to wrap this up here. I'm Dave. Talk to everybody later. Thanks for watching. And thanks for making the videos. And ID, thanks for sending me the charts. And Tebow, thanks for returning all my text today. It really helped me get through the game. And I'm looking forward to playing more Appa Hockey. We'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.